Taf Resh. Actually, we're on the Taf Resh Ayin Tes. It started on Taf Resh Ayin Ches. And just if we read the comment on the, I want to kind of pick up some of the notes that we didn't do. We didn't do number, let's see, wait a minute. So I'm in the wrong place. Let me see. Let me get back. Let me make sure I got the right, I'm in the wrong page. Wrong page, sorry about that. We're on the Taf Resh Pei Aleph. And, let's see, get a pencil here. Alright, so, if we go back to Taf Resh Pei rather, he comes to number Gimel. That's really where we're at. We're in the notes of number Gimel, and it's trying to give us a little background. A Bir Shlishi, B'Shay Mari Rosh, but just reading the black print, the real dark print. The Yud Elor is Abba. Now, this is a concept that I'm not sure what he's talking about. I think I mentioned that the last time. Abba, we understand, is from really the neck downwards, or from the shoulders downwards, around the neck downwards, let's say. And here we're talking about an area which is inside of Eric Anpin, I think. So, Vizel Lashona B'toch Dvarov, so reading more black print, he says, Abba, he says, the Ketana B'pirkat Yonah, the SIFRA Tzniuta, he says, this is also the Yud Elor. Now let's just start reading it a little bit. We'll read down to number 23. To Yud Elor, there is Ata B'kutra Detika, and we have this word kutra, which is a question mark. It's exactly what it means. Atika, and he says, what is this kutra? He says, he kruma Elor is dakek v'sasim. Now, those two words, is dakik v'sasim, seem like they're either out of order or they're contradicting to each other. In one case, if it's refined out, which means to me that the barriers are refined out, and then the next thing it says v'sasim, it's closed. So there's this, to me, they're just a little hard to understand. So let's go to the next one. He says Pirush, so he explains Yud Elor Hainu Abba. Back to this word Abba again. And let me move around a little bit here and get my book lined up. And he says V'ika Yud Tata, but there's another Yud also. So what's to say there's a Yud up above and a Yud down below? And that one is a Zer Anpin, Kede Isa Be'idrazuta and B'daf Resh Pei Tes Amad Aleph. With Zalashona over there, but it's the use of the SIFRA Lifna, the Ha Yud Elor Yud Tata, so you have both of these. Call Elin Eloim Vatika Talion. Everything that's up above is really, and again, the word Talion is a difficult word, but I guess he means that they are tied to that, to the Tatika, which is Eric Anpin. And then the time is there Anpin Inun. So they're tied to that. Omer Yud Elor this Ater V'nishpa becomes its Ater. Now here's the word Isater. So we have two words here that are translatable, but the question is, what does he mean by them? It's just he has the old word, the word kutra. So here's the word kutra. So we just have a little bit here on number 23, the Kaf Gimel. Let me see if I can get that down and everything is still working. Okay. Mashma Khan, the Bevar B'midas, the Isater, the Haida B'Pechinah Tosefah Shefa. What does Isater mean? Now, as I was trying to say, it meant the crown, like a Natara. But here he says that what it means is in the Tara, so the Itara, or the Itra, we also have the Itra of Chesed and Megavuros, those things. He says it's Tosefah Shefa La'aba. That's what it means. He says this Ater means it brings in a lot of Shefa. He says that over there. Let's go back over to number 23 up above, Kaf Begimel. And it'd be B'kutra Datika. There you go, the Kutra. What does that mean? So he says, the Hainu Haktur Hayotzim Atika Derek Hakrum Shenizdakech. So he says this is coming from Atika, which is Eric Anpin, through, and I guess he means in, it says from Eric Anpin, but Derech HaKrum Shenizdach, through the cross that's over the Mochas Dimod, the way I understand it, becomes refined out, or comes refined in some way. Umirova Zikoch, and because of the tremendous amount, I guess, of the light that's coming from the krum, or coming before the krum, because we talked before about inside of the krum, there's a krum of the avir, and inside of that avir is the seed that we're talking about, or this, what do we say? That's not the right word, but we'll try, in other words, something panimi that starts the whole thing, that causes the whole thing to grow. From that comes out the kutra. So let's go over here, try to get what is this kutra on number Kaf Dala down below. He says, He nechav is boyer kanshi yud ilo hu abba, which right there is difficult to hear, but he means there's some abba concept here, maybe he means. Doesn't explain it like this. Amnam Mashad is Bayer Khan would explain actually here be'inin kutra d'atika shuhu kitter. So this is going back to like the word ketoris, a yotzebe rova zikoch, that starts coming out as because of the fact, I don't know what he's trying to tell me here, is he's trying to tell me that this kruma that covers over the muchas dimor becomes more refined. Now, I'm not hearing what the mechanism is that it continues to refine the, I guess, the sealing of the mochas dimor. So he says, if you say it like that, shafir ikad the furushi chochi gam the fiha sharma mari rash bekan. So still looking for a real good understanding. V'kach nizbar bebir hamashula the fiha rizal. Val derek zechan nizbar gam bebir hamashula the fiha groa. Okay, all of these didn't really get me the taste that I was looking for. Let's go on, and he's still building up this idea. And after number 24, Kaf Dalad up above, let's look at the Derek Bekusham La'ater Hayud Ilo. So here we go, this word Ater, which he meant before. He said, Shuhu Abba, who is the Yud Ilo? The Yud Ilo is Abba. So let's look at number 20. Did we do 24? We did 24, and we're reading on. And this is where it comes from. Its origin is there in the Yud Ilo, which is, he says, this is Abba. So we have perhaps a multiple use of the word Abba, not just as we mean the parts of Abba, the sphere of Abba that we talk about, maybe talking about this yud that is the seed, or I use that word, that germinates everything else growing. Let's look at number, what wasn't that number, Kof Ches? Yotze Kutra. Okay, so first we had Kof Hey. That's Kof Hey. I got it. Okay. So he's saying, he says, the Yudi law who Abba, v'zel l'shona b'toch devarav, he says, be'idra zuta, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, tochazi. It says, this is what it says over there, Eshirusa do the ikre av. So he says, the beginning is called the Father. Iskalil b'yud d'talia b'malza kadesha. It really has within this Father. He said, because actually the Abba that we understand is really affected by the Mazla Kadesha, by the Mazlos. He says, Abba is Kala B'Yud D'Tali B'Mazla Kadesha, that's really coming out, or is its origin in the Mazla. Wait, 1 second. In the Mazla, Adkan Lashona. So let's go on. Alma B'Yud Talia B'Mazla. So the Yud Talia B'Mazla. Ube Iskalil Hai Av Hai Yud. So here we see this concept of what Av is like the word beginning. He used the word before. Iskalil Hai Av V'Hai Yud. So these two things are together. They're the same thing. The Hindach of a Resha, the Kalilon. That there's a Resha ahead again, a beginning, that incorporates them. Mashpa is Ater Habachai Resha, and it means like this avid, Mashpa, it's avid, High Resha, which is Abba, Mehaor Hayotze Bekruma Delavira. So he says what? That it's Aved. It's Aved, High Resha. I'm not sure what the meaning of the word is Aved means here. Obviously it means works for or serves. High Resha, also known as Abba, Mehaor Hayotzech Mekruma Devira, Dizdakek V'sasim. So it does these two things. Once it refines and one it seals up. I'm not sure what that means, but it does. Behind it, it's non-besifra d'tziniut to prepare sheni b'daf kufayin ayin zayin omet ala b'zel shono yud ilo de'is ate b'kitru datika hu kruma ilo de'is dakek v'sasim. So we still have this idea of this asek v'sasim because he wants to tell me that the process so he said again that this kruma becomes, I understand, is dakek to be like transparent. It becomes more and more transparent. But then he says that the next part is maybe he means to say that because it becomes more transparent, therefore the mochastimol closes itself up. I'm not sure how that works, and I'm not sure what the meaning is dakek means. Ad kan lashon, what actually happens in this dakek. But what he says what happens is that it seals it up. So how that works. For Efsher the Farish, so maybe we could explain it like this. He said the Kruma Da'avira, La'ater Yud, he says Ater means brings an abundance of light. Okay, so La'ater Yud, which is Abba Bilvadu. That's the only thing it does. Efsher the Farish, the Kruma Da'avira comes to bring more light into the Yud, which is Abba Bilor. L'chashbira b'darav riboy shefa, and to bring it a tremendous amount of shefa into it. Acher atzilusa kafi ratzon ma'alzo, that matzo, that is after it becomes apparent. After it comes out, it becomes an entity as a result of the will of the matzah. Now this is a little bit hard to follow all of this, especially because of the concept that he says is dakek v'sasin. So it means so exactly how that works. We're talking about also the word Abba could refer to the Mukhstima itself of Eric Anpin, because the Mukhstima of Eric Anpin is the Chochmah of Eric Anpin, which is the same thing as Abba. But I'm not sure, because it says it depends on the Maslus. So the Maslus are coming from the beard of Eric Anpin, and it's difficult to see exactly what he's saying. So we'll keep trying. But also, in order to maximize the amount of shefa that's going to come through, the hind of the umber is ater. It's ater. Once again, he says it means to bring an abundance of shefa. So the main element of bringing about this beginning, or this head, which is Abba. So he says, Misaras Hamazel really comes from the Ha'ara of the Mazel, who Yored Atzmos Ad Kan. It brings down really the real juice of what we're talking about up at this point. So he says, going on, he says like this, he says, V'hinech and Bevur B'divir Hashar Amaymari Rashbi Elu, Sheyesh Kam Beis Perushim Bamilas is visater. So now going back. So one was an abundance of light. That's what I heard. What's the two perusha? Vehem one. The one is Yud Ilor. It's the upper Yud, the penimistic Yud, the inside Yud. Shu Abad is Aved of the Ne'etzel Mehaor Hayotze Bekruma Davira. So this is one Abba here. One Abba here is the Yud Ilor that comes out as a result of the light that is penetrating here, Mikruma, the Avira of the Kruma, the Avira, which is covering over the Mochus Dimah. He says, Iker Atzilus, the second asset is the Iker Atzilus Abba, Na'asa Ayedech Saros Amazel. So there's another possibility. That's a different place. The Mazel, the Eric Anpin, Ella Shenishbach Lo Mikruma Davira, but what it is that there's a connection there that comes through this mazel is connected to the kruma de ravira ribu, which brings a ribu shefa acher ribu shefa acher atziluso kafi ratzon ma'atzel lahagdil shefa, in order to maximize the amount of shefa that's coming in. V'chein ku b'shar ma'amari rashbi le'el kanal. So we have, okay, so he helped out a little bit by saying that these are two different possibilities of understanding going on. So he says, there's a sefer called Yonis Elim. So he said, Mavur b'ferish rishon the Abba ne'atzel ayidecha ba'or chayotze derek kruma davira v'zel d'shana. Again, it's, what sticks in my my thinking is that try to understand the use of the word Abba, because he said, okay, one, the Abba that's dependent on the Maslos, that's one Abba, and then the other one which is dependent on the Kruma Devira, that's another one. He said that. So trying to understand this, do they go together, or these are separate ideas, or what? Be'idra Zuta on the Daf Reish Sali Beis Amid Beis, he says like this: V'haku Av Hu harucha the gonis ba'atik. What is this Av? Well, the Rav, he says, is a rucha. Now, that's rucha. The gonis ba'atik yomen, that's hidden inside of atik yomen, that's the parts of that's penimi to Eric Anpin. Ube is gonis high avira, and inside of that, he says this rucha is, because we said it was the rucha da-avira, so he says a rucha da-avira, which is in the kruma, so the avira, he says ba'atik yomin ube is ganiz high avira, and this is where the avira is hidden inside of that pirush. Hol va'amor atzmo hu sasim v'lo ispatach klal. So there you go, that's the other answer. He says it's refined and it's closed. So now he's helping us out again. He says that since the muach atzma is closed up and doesn't open up at all, so where are you going to have the second muach, which is here? This is really a difficult language, because I guess he meant the moach stimor. From here it develops out this other moach, which was called the moach ava, the nikrach b'yud ilor. Now maybe what he means to say is like this, that there is an abba. The abba is from the neck going downwards, or from the area of the maslos going downwards. He says that actually has an origin higher up. So he says that the origin of this, which is Abba, the Nikra Yudi Law, it's called Yudi Law. Ela Abba Misatzel Min HaRuach, but where does this Abba come from? It comes from this Ruach, which is coming from the Ruach, the Ruach de Avira, which is inside of this Kruma de Avira. He says, Hu B'Ka'ayin Kiter Ha'ola, and what is it? He says this Yudi law, or he says it's like a Kiter Ha'olam Min HaMuach Derek HaKrum. So he's saying it the other way. It's like there is existing this Mochas Dimah, or this area, I don't know, and there's a Kiter that comes out from it. Some kind of a Ruach that comes out from it. It comes out from the Muach Derek HaKrum, and it goes through the Krum. I thought it was the other way around, that the Krum has all this DNA inside of it, and it's somehow making an opening. But he says no, it's not like that. He says Abba min haruach shuhu ka'ain kiter ha'ola min hamuach derek hakrum. Vayidech ha'mazel. So then, using the mazel, yispashet Abba b'bekoma. Abba then comes out to its place, which is opposite the mazel. So this kitor is what refines out the krum. So it sounds like what he said. We know that the Mochas Dimah is the location of the birurim. The birurim come up into the Mochas Dimah. So let's start from the bottom. From the bottom is that we regenerate Mayan Nukvin. The Mayan Nukvin goes into the Mochas Dimah. He says that there's a kitter that comes out of the Mochas Timor, which here he says, Shuhu ka'ayin kitter ha'olam min hamuach derek ha'krum. It goes through the krum. In other words, it's going deeper in. It's going deeper in, but in other words, closer to the ma'atzel. And then at that place, at the mazel, then you see that the actual parts of which is called Abba is mispashe. This is the kitur. Its job is its bezakis is a krum. Now, I don't get it 100%. It doesn't seem like, seems like it's going backwards to me. I thought that everything that is up above, which is panimi, is mashpia to what's below it. So, in other words, that the shefa should be coming from the avir, and it should be going into the Mochas Timor, but the Mochas Timor is frozen, it's closed. So now he's saying, but though what happens is that a kitar comes out of the Mochas Timor, and it refines this kruma. I'm not sure what this means, and somehow, and it winds up in this, whatever this refinement is. It seems like it's going backwards, but I'm not sure I understand it. So it comes out through the beard, through and into the beard, which ultimately leads us to the mazlos. And the mazel is where we see the connection with Abba. And so that all of this is coming from there, and hopefully as we go on, because there's still more here, we'll be able to figure out exactly the sequence and the timing a little bit more closely to what he's trying to say. Anyway, that's the shir today. Thanks for learning with me. I appreciate it. Kol tov.